This is a Moondrop NEKOCAKE. These sound great, these look great, and they're crazy cheap, but I've had a love-hate relationship with these. Well, let's unbox this and I'll get back to that later. There we go. Inside the box we find the true wireless buds themselves, which are accompanied by the charging case, which gives it another 2 to 3 charges. Inside here, the charging wire. Here's more ear tips, a manual, warranty card. Fancy! But how does it sound? First impressions, these sound really nice. There's nice wide soundstage, Bluetooth compression, I think that's what I heard there. It's slightly airy, which is nice. I really like hearing airy stuff. There's a slight lack in resolution from what I can hear, but for casual listening, like these aren't meant for me analytical. I can just lie back, it's really comfortable. There's no ANC right now, from what I can hear. If I long press it.
ANC on.
Or, so like there's an anime girl voice. It really kicks in, it just says ANC on. I can still hear taps and stuff, but everything just got a lot quieter. I can no longer hear the aircon sound up there. It's not completely like gone like Bose QC35s, but it's just there. But before I go into proper testing, I ran into some issues. Alright, there's a little bit of cut off there. I don't know what happened. Maybe I was opening and closing the lid, but I just heard it cut off for a few seconds. And it doesn't stop there. I've tried using it outside of the house, and it did disconnect a few times, but it was no biggie. Until one side didn't reconnect ever again. Now, when this first happened to me, I was at school. I tried resetting it, putting both in the case out, taking one out first, taking the other one out, and none of that worked. I tried leaving it in the case for 15 minutes, out of the case for 15 minutes, and nothing managed to work. I was ready to return these and send an angry email to Moondrop support. But I got an idea. Curiously, the side that stopped working had ANC stuck on. This means two things. Number one, it means it is still on, and number two, because it is ANC, meaning active noise cancelling, it is still draining the batteries, so that gave me an idea. So here are my NEKOCAKEs, and they stopped working recently on one side. I tried everything, put it back in and out of the case, I put the reset button, I tried everything, but this is how I fixed it. First step, take the side that does not work out of the case and put it aside for around 6 to 7 hours, even more. Basically, the battery takes around 3 to 5 hours to completely drain, and if you leave it off for a really long time, it will completely drain, completely die, and after that, any software that's still loaded on there will immediately just shut off. Put it back into the case, leave the charge for around 5 to 10 minutes, and put it back in your ear, and it should just work. It might say low battery, but that's the point, both sides should work again. You leave it back in, charge 100%, and it should be back to normal. And indeed, they were back to normal, and I started taking these everywhere again. These have a sound signature more balanced than what I'd expect with more consumer products, but it's not really the same as a regular Moondrop product like the Moondrop Quarks or the Moondrop Spaceship, which I've also tried. Although Moondrop claims they've tuned it to their in-house VDSF tuning, its tuning is slightly different, but it's not completely non-Moondrop. It's got a little bit of bass, which is nice for casual listening outdoors, and it can be tuned accordingly using the Moondrop app. Yep, this thing has an app and it's called Moondrop Link right here. It does one thing only, change the settings that's on the actual IEM itself. Select device, Moondrop NEKOCAKE. It shows you can change your custom touch, the tuning configuration, as well as the manual. Name product description right here. For custom touch, change the touch setting and tuning configuration. It's a pretty simple app, nothing much, not really annoying, just gets the work done. I think they have an iOS version as well, which I have not tested, but yeah, it's an app that exists. They have 5 EQs over here. They have a balanced one, a Moondrop classic one, a Mix dynamic, a no bass, and a wooden Boston one. The balanced one is more consumer friendly, which has a little bit more bass. Moondrop Classics aim to replicate the VDSF tuning that they have on their Quark, Spaceship, whatever. Mix Dynamic is that brand. I don't even know what no bass is supposed to be. People say it's supposed to be like Sennheiser, but to me it just sounds completely neutral and dead, except that there's a little bit of a bass boost. It's kind of weird. And when the Boston, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. It sounds like KZ to me, so. You change the EQ by pressing on the EQ once and then press request, and then change the EQ on the actual IEM itself. Remember to lower your volume before changing it because Moondrop Classic is extremely quiet, while when the Boston was extremely loud and compressed, and it just completely scared me the first time I tried it. I don't really like the Moondrop Classic. Like, I have the Moondrop Quarks and Spaceship lying around, and I compare it to them, they do not sound alike, and I really just didn't enjoy it. Balance to me sounds a bit better. The other 3, they just sound completely dead to me. I tried using them for an hour or 2 each. In the end, I returned back to Moondrop Classic or balanced. Regardless of EQ setting, they're all extremely consumer focused. The bass is pretty high though for Moondrop, though it's alright as IEMs lose quite a bit of bass outdoors, so they sound more balanced. To be honest, I'd love if Moondrop included a user EQ, but it simply doesn't exist in the app, and I use a third-party app such as Wavelet to control it, which gave me a nice balance between Moondrop Classic and Balanced while controlling the highs a little bit more. But you know what else affects the sound? The ANC. So the stock settings, if you long press these 3 seconds, you turn on and off the ANC. Press it. ANC on. There you go. And after that, a lot of the background noise is cut out. So right now I'm in a semi-quiet environment, but you can see right behind there's a little kid on the bike. There's probably some bikes that will pass around in a few seconds. Probably hear the tide behind you just now. I turn the ANC on and I still hear the higher frequencies. The lower ones are definitely cut off, but I still hear people talking around me sometimes. When the wind's coming by, it goes into my ears, it goes through the NEKOCAKEs and with the ANC on. All I hear is wind. The ANC is completely useless when it's windy. Very windy. That wind sound, it just goes in my ears. I actually find it more comfortable right now to turn off the ANC. But thank gosh, because this ANC doesn't add more noise than it needs to. Though I've had really loud popping sounds if I was on a bus or something with ANC turned on. I'm not sure why this happens, maybe it's because of the vibrations or whatever, but it does manage to get rid of some sounds as usual, not the high pitched sounds, but the popping sounds makes them useless on the go in my opinion. But does the device you're using matter? Let's find out. I'm using an iPad right here, and well, there's no compression, no loss, no artifacts, no nothing to me. This just sounds solid. Before, when I was using Android, I could hear loss of detail in a lot of songs. If you're buying this, it really depends on your device. I think if you're using an Apple device, this justifies it. On Android, and let's not even mention Windows. But that's expected. Every Bluetooth device sounds terrible on it. And on these NEKOCAKEs, it really sounds like I was listening through a radio or 96 kilobytes per second MP3. But regardless of device, one big issue still remains, and that's the latency, which is just plain horrendous. I didn't expect the latency to be this bad. I edited this video on these right here, and with 400 ms of pure latency. I'll give you a little demo, look at this. So I'm pressing play pause using the buds right now by tapping it, and if you can see, it's lagging behind, so when it plays on the phone, it takes a while before it actually plays on the bud itself. And the bud's also really slow at responding to clicks. Yeah, it didn't even just register right there. That's another issue I've faced. Now, we can't leave this off without talking about the terrible mic quality, which you're hearing right now. There are 2 mics on each side. I think it's using this side right now, but it takes the right side up first, it connects to the right side, uses that mic, but regardless, they both sound the same. And for a phone call, which is even more compressed, it's even worse. I've tried talking to someone over the phone, they just couldn't hear me. And I'd say it's only really good for ANC, and that's about it. You know what's good though? The durability and feel, which honestly, they're just okay, but for this price, it feels hard, it feels solid, and it feels like there's not much give to it. Although the hinge is a little bit weak, as you can see here, it's a little bit and if I bend it back too much, I'm afraid I might break it, which I'm pretty sure I won't break it by accident. Of course, there's a magnet inside the case that holds these in place, and doing the infamous upside down test, they kind of hold well, although it does fall if you yank it really hard, which is not too bad, but still, you're not gonna accidentally drop them if you were to put them upside down like this. It's a bit of a fingerprint magnet, so this should be fine, but you'd want a case and you don't want to open this with greasy chip fingers. What'd you say? There's a slight design problem with this case though, is that the buds are really hard to take out of the case. You can't really grab them by the bud, they're too slippery, you can't grab them anywhere, and it's just awkward to take out. You have to grab it by the stem and take it out, which is usually fine, but you have such a narrow grip area. If you were to take one out, you might accidentally. But fear not, I've dropped these dozens of times, and honestly, when I pick it up, it just works again. That's good, a peace of mind, knowing that these won't break. 2 meters, 1 meter, of course you try not to drop it, but they just work. Which is important because of my next talking point. And that's their fit, because these here, for me, they fit really, really well, but for some other people that I've tried it on, they said that it didn't fit them that well, and sometimes it would fall out or they just couldn't put it on. For me, it's just really sound dependent, so if I move it a little bit, I get more bass, less bass, more treble, less treble, and the ANC does not change that much, although it does a little bit. But for people where the fit isn't perfect, you want to make sure that when it falls, it doesn't break. And thank gosh, they're built pretty solid, just like the case. Now I think I should get home to tell you about the sounds that these makes when you press buttons. Yep, you've been hearing it throughout the video. That's a cute anime girl voice. Moondrop's in-house waifu, Mitsuki Yuki or Shoyo Yoshi, narrates every single one of your actions. Take a listen.
Hurry up! Connected! ANC on! connected. Powered off.
Well, what do you think? Well, I'm not that much of an anime myself, so I can't really judge, but leave a comment below what you think about it. To me at least it's not like some Chinese earbuds that blast you with 200 dB of
Bluetooth mode
or
FM mode.
Alright, so here's my final verdict on these and NEKOCAKEs. So I gave it a few more months to evaluate these and just find out what they really are. They definitely aren't perfect, and given Moondrop's rep, I really wouldn't say they are the best of the best and you should get them no matter what, they destroy everything. No. These are just very average, but on Moondrop standards. The bugs and glitches I mentioned get in the way. The ANC, might as well not use it. For this price, which, how much to pay for them again? I really don't care. These are really, really good. I'd honestly say these are discount AirPods Pros. I mean, the sound definitely is a bit worse, and they're lacking tons of Apple integration, the W1 chip, whatever. I'm not an Apple person, but if you have some extra money to spend, or if you're in need for a TWS that's pretty decent and cheap, or if you just want to try out the Moondrop sound without looking like an idiot with wires, well, buy these. No big regrets if you don't like them. Toss them in the trash, give them to a friend, toss it in the drawer and use it every other week, but they're good. Yeah, that's all I'll say. They're good for what you pay for. Well, thank you so much for watching this video right here. If you want to see something else, this is one that I've edited from IceCode7. He reviewed the Moondrop Quarks, which I've been talking about throughout this video. Here they are. Watch this video right over here. If you want to watch something else, I don't know what this is, but here's a video. Might or might not be a review. You can probably subscribe if you want to see more stuff down here, and let's see what these are. Subscribe!